She is the education policy analyst at the Illinois Policy Institute. She got the numbers. We're going to share them. Hannah Schmidt joins me now. Hey, Hannah.
Hi, Fawn. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to talk to you again. We are looking at some numbers here that just don't make a whole lot of... The math ain't mathin', Hannah. And we're talking about education. So enrollment is down, but spending is skyrocketing. How does that work?
Yeah, so as kids are heading back to school these past few weeks, and now Illinois is facing a lot of educational challenges related to academic proficiency, declining enrollment, high absenteeism rates, and all of these outcomes are coming at higher costs for Illinois students. So the most recent data we have is from spring 2024, and it shows among Illinois students in third grade, only 41% can read at grade level, and even fewer are proficient in math. And proficiency drops even further by the time students are in 11th grade, with only 31% of 11th graders reading at grade level and only 26% performing math proficiently. So again, we're seeing some of these poor outcomes in our Illinois public schools, yet at higher costs.
Okay, so that doesn't sound like a really good deal for Joe taxpayer.
No, yeah, so over the past decade, we've seen the Illinois education budget grow by nearly $4 billion. And like you mentioned, at that same time, this public school system is actually educating fewer students. So over that same time period, we've seen enrollment decrease by 177,000 students. So we're spending more to educate fewer students and still getting poor academic outcomes. So we need to make some changes as far as the way that we invest in students, the way we're getting back to basics of reading and whatever those important things are for students to be prepared for life beyond graduation. So not just their years in K through 12, but beyond graduation as well.
Yeah. So I mean, but they're throwing more money at it, but the problem's not getting better. So throwing more money at it's not the answer.
Exactly. Yeah, there are other ways that we can invest in our education system. One important thing, too, is just re-engaging students. So especially since the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen a very high increase in chronic absenteeism. So a simple way to, get more students back on track is to get them in their classrooms and learning. More than 1 in 4 students were chronically absent on the most recent state test data, so from the 2023-2024 school year. If schools are struggling to engage students, these high absenteeism rates are signaling a warning for these students' academic futures.
All right. So what's the plan? What do you do?
Yeah, so leaders at Illinois Public Schools should really be looking to address these low rates of proficiency, these very high rates of absenteeism, and other issues facing our state schools if we especially want to reverse this trend of students exiting the public school system. So one vital first step for Illinois can be ensuring that students graduate their public school with those skills that are needed to succeed in life beyond secondary school. And one step to do that is to equip more third-grade students to read proficiently. There's a lot of research on the importance of students reading at grade level by the end of their third-grade school year. So there are some simple steps and solutions that lawmakers and others can take to ensure students are equipped in those early years and then succeed in every subsequent school year.
Okay, because, if you fall behind in those primary grades, that changes everything. It's hard to catch up.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah, and that's why it's so important for us to really grasp onto those students in those early years and then continue to build on those skills, obviously, in every subsequent school year. But you're right, if we don't have students prepared early on, we're really not giving them the best odds at succeeding in school later on.
Well, and it's kind of confusing all the way around that it's gotten this bad because the teachers union is always fighting for more money and better benefits and whatever else, not just in Chicago, but in teachers unions. And I think teachers should be paid well, but they should probably have some good outcomes. The blame's not totally on them. Parental involvement is at play here as well. But the whole state, it can't be all the parents.
Yeah, parental involvement, you're right, is definitely at play as well. We also need to make sure that our teachers are equipped in the way that they need to be to train students and instruct them in, the basics of reading. So there's a lot that the state can do as well in teacher development even, ensure that teachers have the skills. We ask a lot of teachers. Like you said, there are many teachers who might feel, underpaid or ill-equipped. So the best thing we can do for teachers, we see high rates of burnout among teachers. We should equip them to succeed in the classroom. so that they feel, those successes of students, understanding these concepts and seeing them grow. That's, so fulfilling for a teacher. So we really need to make sure that teachers are equipped to do that well. And their districts are giving them the resources they need through training and other professional development.
I agree. And it's so hard because if you're a new teacher and you inherit this problem, I mean, that's a huge load. You feel some kind of way about yourself. So that's a problem.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So how much money per student would you say they're spending?
Yes. So the most recent test data had said we're saying around $18,000 per student on some base expenditures. That's not looking at the total budget divided by student enrollment. So we're just seeing every year the total spend on students increase as budgets increase and enrollment drops. So like you've mentioned, throwing more money isn't the only solution to this problem. We really need to be investing in teachers, making sure they're equipped with the skills needed, investing in those basic, back to the basic reading, evidence-based reading strategies, making sure we're identifying students in those early grades who are struggling with reading. And so there are a lot of, ways that Illinois really can invest in students. And it doesn't just mean throwing more money at the problem, especially when we're educating fewer and fewer students.
Yeah. $278 million more. 41% of students are proficient, 28% at math, the other for reading. That's insane to me. That's a complete annihilation of your education system.
Yeah, we need to make sure just we're preparing more students. The main goal of an education system should be to prepare students for not just those K through 12 years, but life beyond. It's really important that we're getting kids equipped, giving them those skills so that those proficiency rates are beyond just, more students are failing to meet proficiency than meeting proficiency, and that's not acceptable for our education system.
Amen to that. Yeah, they've got to be proficient. It's that simple. All right, where do people go to learn more, Miss Hannah?
You can follow us at illinoispolicy.org and read about our research there.
Okay, please do it because these numbers are kind of shocking. Hannah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.